Am I live? Am I live? Y'all know I had to say it, even though by now I know I'm live. Hello, hello. Tonight's live will be on an important topic. I wanted to bring these facts and these figures to your attention so you can understand if you are not an investor. I want you to be aware of the cost of your inaction. As you can see, scrolling across the bottom, the topic of tonight: Black women lose $25,000 every year by not investing. So that means it is costing you some people's annual salary by not taking action. Let me break that down a little bit. I'll give you some figures from the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, on the wage gap and on inflation. So it's Black women. As you know, our wages are already lagging behind, right? The gender wage gap is wide, but it's even wider when you factor in race. So according to the GAO, in 2022, women earned 82 cents for every $1 men earned. And I'm sure these facts are not new to you. I'm sure you were aware of them. Even if you weren't aware of the exact numbers, you were aware that you did not earn as much as men earned. But as Black women, the gap is even wider. Our wages lag even more. Black women earn 63 cents for every $1 a white man earns. And this data is based on the United States. So if anyone is watching and you're in another country, this data is based on the United States. So as Black women, we earn 63 cents for every $1 a man earns. So our wealth is already impacted just from our earnings. But it's further impacted if you don't invest. You lose even more. And I ran some numbers. Y'all know I don't do mental math. So I ran some calculations before going live, and I estimated that loss to be $25,000, including the lagging wages. So tonight, we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. But first, let me see who is hanging out with me tonight. If you are with me live, say hello in the comments. And if you're watching a replay, comment replay gang when you slide through. Y'all know I love to see your comments. But whether you're watching live or you're watching a replay, I am glad that you are here. I'm glad that you are here. Let's see who's with me. Jan. Hey, Jan. Hey, girl. Hey. And we got April in the house tonight. Hey, April. How you doing? How you been? Hey, girl. Hey. Let's see. Who else? Who else is with me? We got Ishwell in the house. Hey. Hey, girl. Let's see. We got Happy Toddlers Play Group. Assalamu alaikum. We have Gail. Hi, Gail. How you doing? Oh, okay. Your name is Valerie. Okay. Hey, Valerie. And Picky Girl. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for joining me. And we have Melissa. Hey, Melissa. How you doing? How you been? I hope y'all can see me okay. I got this little bootleg set up in this room. I thought I would be able to do the video from outside. I was all set up, all ready to go. Beautiful natural light and had my melanin popping. Baby. When them little ants, them little ants came crawling over to my computer, I was like, ooh, no, we're not gonna do this. So I had to hurry up and run back inside. So forgive me if the lighting is a little off. I got my little travel light here that's helping a little bit, but of course natural light would have been better. But we're gonna make it do what it do. We gonna make it do what it do. But for anyway, if you are new to me, hey girl, hey. My name is Malika, and I am a money coach. I'm also an investor of over 20 years, and my money creates enough income for me so I no longer have to work, right? So, since quitting my 9 to 5 job, I've been slow traveling around the world, and I'm currently in my dream destination in Bali, Indonesia. Before this trip, my favorite country in the world was Thailand, specifically Chiang Mai, Thailand. I didn't think anything could top it. Bali has just stolen my heart. I love this place and I don't want to leave. But I'm here for about a month. So I'll have about 2 weeks left because I think I've been here for 2 weeks now. So I'll probably be here for about another 2 weeks and then I will move on to my next destination. But I say all that to say on this channel, I talk about investing with ease so you can achieve your financial freedom and live whatever it is that you love. Whether it's traveling around the world like me, whether it's moving abroad permanently, whether it's spending more time with your children, your grandchildren, your husband, your life partner, whatever that may look like to you. I talk about investing for financial freedom, and I actually have a coaching program called Investing with Ease. And I want to teach Black women how to achieve that financial freedom for themselves so you can live whatever you love as well. So if that sounds like your vibe, then subscribe to my channel, sis. Hit that like button and turn on that notification bell while you're down there. Welcome. Welcome to my tribe. So let's get into tonight's topic. Black women. Oh, my mom is here. What a pleasant surprise. Hi, Mom. Mom. I am so surprised. That makes me so happy. This is the first time my mom has joined my live. I feel like I made it now, y'all. I feel like I made it. My mom don't watch YouTube. But anyway, Black women, if you don't invest, your inaction is costing you $25,000 every year. And based on my research, based on my read of the GAO report, I have gathered let me check my notes, 3 or 4 factors that is playing into that loss. And if I glance down at my phone, it's because I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to forget anything. But let me see. I just want to make sure. Yes, 3. I've gathered 3 factors that play into that figure, and I will share the numbers with you. But the very first one is inflation. Inflation. If you are not investing, the purchasing power of the money you do earn. So we only earn, 63 cents for every dollar that a white man earns. Inflation is going to eat that up even more. The current inflation rate is 3.67%. So for ease of the conversation, let's just say 4%. If you are not investing, your money is not keeping up with the rising prices that lead to a decrease in your purchasing power. So with a white man earning $1, inflation against his $1 leaves him with only 96 cents in buying power. The white man earning $1 leaves him with 96 cents in buying power because inflation is 4%. So if we only earn 63 cents to his $1, that's a 37 cents pay gap. That's a 37 cents pay gap. That means we only have 60 cents in buying power with 4% inflation. So men have 96 cents and we only have 60 cents. So we can be doing the same job, have the same skill set, the same background, the same education. We only have 60 cents in buying power as a result of the wage gap and inflation. So if you think you earn six figures, that goal that everyone wants to achieve with their salary, you're not really earning that much because your wages are lagging and inflation reduces your buying power. And this is a result of not investing because your money is not able to keep up with inflation. Are there any thoughts about inflation so far? But I wanted to break that down even further using a salary as an example. So based on my quick little Google search, the average annual salary in the United States is about $60,000 a year. So there's many people that make a lot more and many people that make a lot less. So with the average salary of $60,000 a year and 4% inflation, you are losing $2,400 per year to inflation, and that's a loss if you're not investing. Now, if you are investing, you can make up that loss. But when you choose not to invest, off the rip, you are losing $2,400 every year, just solely due to inflation. And inflation increases every year, every single year. Now, let's add the wage gap to that average salary. So we have a 37% wage gap. So if the average salary is $60,000 in the Black community, you know that ain't the average salary, right? In the Black community, if I apply that wage gap percentage, taking away 37%, Black women, we will lose $22,200 due to the wage gap. We subtract the inflation from that. That is an annual loss of $24,600 due to the wage gap and inflation. $24,600 due to the wage gap and inflation. That's a loss immediately due to your inaction. When you choose not to invest, that's a loss that you are willing to accept. That's a loss that you are willfully accepting every single year. $24,600. I did not run the math on this, but the thought of compounding $24,600 over the years of all of your working years, that's millions of dollars that you are willfully losing by not investing. Black women, we can't afford to not invest. We are already behind the curve in the wage gap, and then inflation that affects everyone puts us further behind. We can't afford to not invest. We are losing 25, I rounded up to 24,600. I rounded that up to 25, by the way. We are losing 25,000 every year solely by choosing not to invest. I have two more to share. But that alone, the first one alone, was like, I hope that's an eye opener for you. I hope that's an eye opener for you. And I understand a lot of us, we don't invest because we don't know how. I understand a lot of us don't invest because we're afraid to invest. We're afraid to lose money. You're already losing money. You're losing 25,000 a year. So you're losing money because you're choosing not to educate yourself. And you have resources available to educate you. As I mentioned earlier, I have a coaching program, Invest with Ease, to teach you how to invest. Picky Girl is in the chat. She has an investment program to teach you how to invest. These are Black women that have the knowledge and experience and the programs, the offers to teach you how to invest. So you no longer can say you don't know how. You are choosing not to invest and you are choosing to accept the 25,000 annual loss that compounds every year that you choose inaction. Every year that you choose inaction. All right. Let me check the comments so I don't get behind tonight. Shanna says, that's a lot of money. It is. That's a lot of money. A lot of money, especially knowing there's something you can do about it. Especially knowing there's something you can do about it. Yeah, April said that's an instant loss. Yes. So for those who say they're afraid to invest because they don't want to lose money, you're already losing money. You're already losing money. So the alternative is to at least stop the bleeding. The alternative is at least stop the bleeding. Mitchell says it's eye-opening. Jill, I haven't seen your name before, but hello and welcome. How can you invest if you were recently laid off? You're absolutely right. That's a great question. You need recurring income to invest. So, in your situation, your first priority would be to find another job or find another way of creating income. You need income to invest. But I also want to add another thought to that to help you consider the future. Your current circumstances are what they are, so we can't change the past. But if you consider in the future, when you do get another job, if you start investing and your money is making money babies, y'all know I always talk about money babies. And let's say if the unfortunate event occurs again that you get laid off, you're not completely without a source of income. Your investments can fill the gap for you. Your investments can be a source of income while you either choose to take a break, like I am. I don't work because I have investments that can fund my lifestyle. So if you were investing in the past and you got laid off, you would have income. You would have a source of income to rely on while you're in between jobs. So I empathize with your current situation, and you cannot invest right now if you do not have income coming in. So your priority right now for you, Pajil, is to find another source of income. And then once you get that new source of income, then start investing. So if this situation were to happen again, you will be in a better position. Or at least you won't be as stressed out because you will have a source of income to rely on while you're in between jobs. I hope that helps. My mom has a comment, y'all. My mom has a question, as if she doesn't have access to me 24/7. But how can retirees invest? As a retiree, you can still invest. If you still have a source of income, you can put money in a regular brokerage account, or you can continue adding to your IRA. So if you don't have access to a 401k, which is through a job because you're retired, you still have access to other investment accounts, either an IRA, which is an individual retirement account that you completely control yourself, or a regular taxable brokerage account, which is also something that you completely control yourself. So you can continue to invest if you're retired, and it's a good idea for you to continue investing so your money can keep making money babies. And then whatever you don't use in your lifetime, I'm just saying, so you can have some wealth to pass on to your children. So you can start creating that stream of generational wealth. I'm just saying. Let's see. Any other questions? All right. Those are good questions. Good questions. So I'll move on to the second impact that results in that $25,000 annual loss. So by not investing, you are missing out on opportunities to create money babies. That means you are missing out on opportunities for your money to grow and generate returns for you. This makes it harder to achieve your financial goals, and it makes it harder to create, since the last question was about retirement, it makes it harder to create a comfortable retirement. So if you are not investing and you are solely relying on what you will get from Social Security, your Social Security check is less than the paycheck you earned when you were working. So if you're not investing to add more to that Social Security check, your retirement may not be as comfortable for you. And you can't save yourself to wealth. So the numbers I want you to think about for this impact is, let's say you have that dollar that white men earn. We're not even going to talk about our little measly 63 cents. Let's focus on the dollar, right? So that $1 is really only 96 cents when we factor in inflation, right? Traditional savings accounts pay about, let's be generous tonight. Let's say they pay about 0.2%, right? High yield savings accounts pay at least 4%. But investing has an average over the long term, not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. We're not talking about trading. We're talking about investing long term. Investing long term, you are going to earn at an average of 10% on your money, right? So taking that 96 cents of buying power after we consider inflation, if you save that $1 and you earn that 0.2% from a traditional savings account, your money has only grown to 97 cents. So that $1, it drops down to 96 cents with inflation. In a regular savings account, it only grows to 97 cents. So you're only making 1 cent in a money baby. Only 1 cent in a money baby. That $1 in a high yield savings account that's earning 4% has buying power of the whole $1, even with inflation. And that's why I remind you all, if you are going to save, which saving is also important, you want to have a cushion. I'm all about investing, but you do need to save because you want to have a cushion, because you don't want to pull money out of your investments when the market is down. So you do want that savings account to provide that cushion for you when life happens, right? When life happens. So when you're saving, make sure you're not saving in a regular traditional savings account. When you're saving the pot of money that provides that life cushion, Save it in a high yield savings account. And this is why, because inflation is 4%. You're going to earn at least 4% in a high yield savings account. So you break even. So your $1 has a real $1 equivalent in buying power. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope so. But you're just breaking even by saving. You're not making any money, babies. You still only have $1. We want some money, babies. So here we go. With investing, because you're going to earn that average. And I say average of 10% because some years the market is a lot higher than the average. And some years it's also lower than the average. So over the long term, it averages out to be about a 10% return. So with that $1 and inflation, if you are investing, your $1 becomes $1.06. Your $1 becomes $1.06. So your $1 has grown. With traditional savings, you're still losing. You only have 97 cents. With the high yield savings account, you're just breaking even. You still only have $1 when you factor in inflation. Even if your savings account is earning you 4%, which is a good thing in this current economy, but you're still only breaking even. When you invest, that's when you're making the money, babies. That's when your money is doing the work for you. And if you invest consistently over the long term and that money compounds, eventually you will get to a point where you don't have to work anymore because your money is doing the work for you. And that's what I mean by creating money, babies, because your money is multiplying and making little babies all over the place. And them babies accumulate so much, you're like, my annual salary that I was working 40 hours a week for, these money babies making just as much as I was making by working. So you can reevaluate your whole life and be like, do I need this job? Do I need to keep giving 40 hours a week to this employer? Or can I be in Bali? Or can I be in Bali for a whole month? Because the money babies are giving you the freedom to make that choice. You have the freedom to make that choice when you invest. So you don't want to miss out on opportunities by not investing, right? You don't want to miss out on opportunities to create your money babies by not investing. But check the comments. Make sure I keep up with you guys this time. Let's see. Hilda. Hey, Hilda. Hey, girl. Hey. How do we withdraw money using the 4% rule? Are we withdrawing dividends or selling? So this is a complex question. You are introducing a term that other people in the chat may not be familiar with, the 4% rule. That's for those who may not be familiar, that's a drawdown strategy when you have achieved FIRE, financial independence, retire early. But to answer your general question, there are several ways to withdraw money once you choose to become work optional or retire early. You can, one of the easiest ways is just turning off the drip and taking the dividends as income. Yes, that's one of the ways. Another way is, yes, the second question you have here, or selling. You can sell. If you sell, you have to be careful depending on the account that your assets are in, whether they're retirement accounts or non-retirement accounts. When you sell, you may generate a tax event depending on the account. And there is another way that you can access money from your assets. But I teach all of this in the Invest with Ease program, which, by the way, the Invest with Ease program, the next cohort, kicks off on October 3rd, and enrollment is still open until, I want to say, Sunday. Let me double check my calendar. Enrollment is still open until Sunday because we kick off the next cohort on October 3rd, which is a Tuesday, and we will meet for 8 weeks every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But I will teach you this in the Invest with Ease program. And for those who may be interested in joining, let me put the link. I can put the link up here on the screen. Invest with Ease. So you can go here to enroll, and I will also drop it in the comments. Invest with Ease. Enrollment is open until Sunday. So if you want to join us, I welcome you to sign up. It will be a small cohort of your peers. It's women only, Black women only specifically. And we're going to kick it off on Tuesday night. And for those of you who have already signed up, if you're in the chat, hey girl, hey, I sent out an email to have you join the private Facebook group, which is going to be our hub and our main source of communication between the coaching sessions. I see a few of you have joined the Facebook group already. Some of you have not, so I'll send out another reminder email for you. It'll come out sometime this weekend. But I am excited to get started with you all on Tuesday. So if you want to join the Q4 cohort of Invest with Ease, please join us. You're welcome. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Oh, and I added some bonuses for those who enroll by Sunday. I am going to also give you my masterclass on slaying your debt, the Slay Your Debt masterclass that talks about the 5 different strategies to pay off debt and how to look at the pros and cons of each one and determine which one is best for you. So I'm giving out the masterclass for free. Also, I have an ebook on Beginner's Guide to Fabulous Financials. So my coaching company, the name of it is Fabulous Financials, if you didn't know. But I have an ebook, The Beginner's Guide to Fabulous Financials, where I break down the 7 steps, the 7 things that I did to achieve financial independence. I share all the tea. I give you the 411. I tell you who I used, what I invested in, and the whole 9. My thought process. Actually I need to turn it into a journal because I have some prompts at the end of each chapter to give you something to think about as you are on your journey. The ebook is also available. All of this is available on my website, moneycoachmalika.com. But all of this will be free to you if you enroll and Invest with Ease. You will receive all of these as bonuses. And the last bonus that I've added is I will, in the program, we're all going to create an investment action plan that's going to be tailored to your goals. But as a bonus, I will do a personal review of your investment action plan. And I'm also going to offer you a 1-hour private coaching session. This is a group coaching program. But when I review your investment action plan, I'm going to offer as a bonus a private coaching session to go over your investment action plan with you. So these are bonuses that I'm offering if you enroll by Sunday. And the link is on the screen. So let's see. Let me get back to the questions. I am trying to retire next year. My assistant will continue running the business, so I will have a steady income. but I need an extra account for my mental security. Okay, okay. You can continue investing in an individual um, retirement account, or if you're going to have continued income, because you need to have continued income in order to invest in an IRA, whether it's a traditional IRA or Roth IRA, you need income to invest in those. But if you have no source of income, and actually you need a source of income to invest, so I'm not going to say that, scratch that. But even if you don't want the limitations or the restrictions, there are no limitations to invest in a regular brokerage account, what I would call a taxable brokerage account, just because it's not under a protected umbrella and give you any tax advantages. But there are no restrictions, no limitations to investing in a regular taxable brokerage account. So, yeah, I understand needing that extra account for mental security. So, when I decided to stop working, even though my money is making money babies in the stock market, I made the crazy decision to quit my job in the middle of a recession and in the middle of when the stock market was crashing. But that didn't stop me because, baby, this freedom feels good. So I have no regrets either. But I'm so glad I prepared for it because, like you, Valerie, I think that's your name, I wanted that mental security. So I didn't want to have to rely on my investments while the market was down, while the economy was poor. So I created a separate account that gave me a cash cushion of about a year or two of my living expenses before I took the leap. So I actually was drawing down from that mental security account instead of pulling money out of the stock market, because when I walked away from my job, the market was down and I did not want to withdraw from my funds while the market was down. So I lived on that extra account for a while. So I understand. I understand the need for that. I think it's a good idea to have that extra account for mental security. To access, let's see what Melissa is asking. To access investment from brokerage account, how do you take out your money when you're ready? So that was the same question that Hilda asked. So there are several ways to take out your money when you're ready. The easiest and most common way is just selling. So as your money has appreciated over time, as your money has created money babies. So let's say you invest and you have 1,000 shares. You invest consistently over the years and you have 1,000 shares. When you decide to take money out, you just sell some of those shares. And if you have invested over the long term, the value of those shares may be higher than when you first purchased it. So in the Invest with Ease program, I will also show you to look at price history. We'll look at price history on some charts. I'll show you how to do some general chart reading. So if you bought a stock, let's say 5 years ago, long-term investing is at least 5 years. So when I say long-term, I'm talking at least 5 years. Investing is not for people that want to put money in, take it out, put money in, take it out. That's the fastest way to lose money. That's not what I do. That's not what I teach. I do not teach you how to trade and invest with ease. I always say trading creates income, investing builds wealth. So I want to teach you how to build wealth. So if you're investing long term, which is at least 5 years, so let's say 5 years ago you bought, I don't know, let's say Apple stock. And 5 years ago, Apple was valued at $115. I'm just making things up. I don't have a chart in front of me. But let's say Apple was valued at $115 and you sell it 5 years later when it's valued at $180. So that difference between 115 and 180 is profit. So if you own 100 shares, it's that difference times 100 if you choose to sell 100 shares. So that's how you pull the money out, by selling it. And the money that you earn is the difference between the cost of it when you bought it and the cost of it when you sold it. So that's one way. And again, as a reminder, if you are selling in an account that is not tax sheltered, the act of selling does create a tax event. But here's the beauty of long-term investing. If you have owned the asset for at least a year and a day, the tax rate that you will pay is less than the taxes that you pay on the income you earn from your job. Investing has tax advantages because you pay lower taxes. So the taxes that you pay on long-term investments are called capital gains tax. And the capital gains tax rate is lower than the taxes you pay when you earn income by working. But another way of taking money out, I'm going to answer this question one more time. If anyone has this question again, you can just watch the replay. But another way of taking money out, so when you invest, some investments pay dividends. While you're in the wealth accumulation phase, you may reinvest those dividends. But once you decide to stop working, you may choose to turn off the drip and just take the dividends as income. Okay? And there are other ways that I teach on how to access your money, but I teach that in the Invest with Ease program. So if you are interested in learning the details, the how behind what I'm saying, join us in Invest with Ease. Enrollment is open until Sunday. I should write a book called Money Babies. That's so funny. I actually learned that term from I want to give proper credit where it's due. I learned that term from Myron Golden. Myron Golden, do you all know him? I love Myron Golden. He's a very popular business coach. And he talks about making money babies through entrepreneurship. But I like making money babies through investing. Look at my mom, y'all. I didn't know I could still invest. I will look into this. Thank you. Girl. Oh, girl. I call her my old girl, y'all. My mom, my old girl, and my mom is my old girl. My daughter is my baby girl. Oh, girl, we talked about this before. Yes, you can still invest. Valerie needs to learn. Valerie, okay, I will remember that. Thank you. Needs to learn what to do with my Navy Union savings. So is that a regular savings account? Is that Navy Federal Credit Union? So what are you trying to do? What are your goals? What are your goals? So that's the first place to start before you decide what to do with them. What are your goals? Willing to fail. Hey, girl. I'm late. I'll have to go back to the beginning when this is over. Yay, money baby. You know I like money babies. You know I like money babies. Oh, you purchased certificate CDs for your grandsons at 5.3%. That's a great rate. That's a great rate. The only downside to CDs is most of them have a fixed period of time that you have to leave your money in there in order to get the higher return. And if you pull your money out before that period of time is over, you have to pay a penalty. So you will lose some of that 5.3%. But if you don't need the money at all and it's solely for long term, so if the CD earning 5.3% is like a 1-year CD, that money is locked for 1 year. You cannot ask, well, you can because it's your money. But in order to earn that 5.3%, the full amount, you have to leave it in there for the entire time. Most CDs that pay higher rates like that are usually 3 years, 5 years. So you're locking your money away for that entire time. And if you choose to withdraw the money, because it's yours, you still have access to it. So I shouldn't have said it's locked, but you still have access to it. So if you choose to take it out, just know that you're forfeiting some of the rate of return that they're offering you. Melissa, would you suggest taking all of your dividends or reinvesting dividends? Melissa, that is a loaded question because it depends on your goals. It depends on what phase of the wealth building journey that you're in, and it depends on your need for income. So, for example, for me, I am still in the wealth accumulation stage. right? I'm still in the wealth accumulation stage. So I'm still investing money. I'm still adding money to my investment accounts. So I don't take any of my dividends. I don't take any of my dividends. I have the DRIP on. DRIP, DRIP, is the dividend reinvestment plan. So I have the DRIP turned on. So every time my assets earn dividends, I earn probably about I recently just posted this in one of my group coaching programs with the Sister Circle. I earn probably about 3 or 4 thousand a month in dividends, and all of that money is automatically reinvested, just buying more of the same asset. Now, when I get to the stage of life where I'm in the drawdown phase, and I need a source of income because I'm not doing anything else to create income. I ain't creating no more programs. I ain't coaching nobody. I ain't writing no books. I'm not doing any of this social media stuff. And I just completely fall off the grid. Then I will turn off the drip completely and I will just take my dividends as income. But for right now, because of the phase of life that I'm in and the wealth phase that I'm in, I continue to reinvest the dividends. So I just share what I do as an example so you can see there is no black or white answer. There is no one right answer. It depends on you. And that's one thing I love about coaching, because personal finance is personal. And in the coaching program, I teach you the general fundamentals, but within coaching, I have to learn more about you personally, and I consider your personal details and your personal circumstance to be able to answer the question so that it's tailored to your life. Because what's good for me, what's appropriate for me, may not be appropriate for you. There is no one right way of doing things. Now, someone else may do it completely differently than me. If their phase of life is different, they may be taking all of their dividends. And it doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong, or they're right and I'm wrong. It just depends on where you are in life and what your financial goals are. So it depends. Join us and Invest with Ease so I can learn more about you. And then we can talk about more specifics. But I hope that helps by sharing an example of what I do. Let's see. Jan said, can you say that in trading creates wealth? No. Trading creates income. So trading is short term. You buy something, day traders, for example, may buy something at 9:30 a.m. and sell it before 4 p.m. So the objective of trading is to buy low and sell high. Trading options is a little more complicated because options are a derivative of the underlying stock. And I'm not going to get into all that tonight. But the objective of trading is to create income because you're doing it short term. You're buying and selling quickly and you're doing it short term. There's day trading, there's swing trading, there's all types of trading. I do not teach trading and Invest with Ease. Trading creates income. Investing builds wealth. I teach people how to build wealth. I am work optional because of the wealth that I've gained through investing. I don't have to sit at my computer and read charts and trade every day to create income. My money is doing the work for me and making money babies. I like money babies, so I have the option to do nothing. Investing builds wealth. I am still in the wealth accumulation phase because now that I have created enough for me, I want to create more for my grandson. I want to create more for any future grandchildren I may have. I want to be able to leave wealth to my loved ones after I'm long gone because I have the knowledge and the skills to create money. So now I want to create more beyond what I need. Trading creates income. Investing builds wealth. I am focused on building wealth for myself to live on now and also to leave a legacy after I'm gone. That's wealth. And that is built through investing long-term, investing long-term. Trading creates income, investing builds wealth. So I said it again for you. Let's see. Gail, hey Gail, when you say continued income for investing, could that include retirement, pension, or Social Security? Or must it be earned income through a job or business? I have a brokerage account. You can invest in a brokerage account without any limitations, no restrictions or anything. You don't need any requirements from a job, or it doesn't matter where the income source is. If you have a regular taxable brokerage account, you can invest. The only restrictions come in is when you want to invest in an account, when you want to invest in an account that has tax advantages. That's when the government all in your business. They're trying to see where the money coming from. They give you limits, max. You have a maximum you can put in there. So 401k, in order to invest in a 401k, that needs to be tied to an employer. So you need to have a job. In order to invest in an IRA, you need to have a taxable source of income. And the IRS have a publication where they outline the types of income that are considered eligible in order to contribute to an IRA. But when you're investing in a regular brokerage account, because there are no tax advantages, a 401k and an IRA have tax advantages. A regular brokerage account is a taxable account. There are no tax advantages. So there are no limits. There are no restrictions. There's no minimum, no max, no employer that's needed or anything like that. You can invest in a taxable brokerage account, regardless of whether you're retired or you have a job or Social Security. Most people on Social Security, they don't invest only because the Social Security is just enough for them to live on. But if your Social Security is extra and you have that extra to make money, babies, and you want to invest, that's awesome. That is awesome. Let's see. When we start handling our money the right way, talking about money is exciting. Yes, isn't it? I love talking about money. I know my family gets sick of me sometimes because I will talk about money to anybody that's willing to listen. So since my family gets sick of me, then I have y'all. I just come on here every Friday and talk to y'all because I love talking about money. I'm not saying I love money. That's not what I'm saying at all. So don't nobody watching this get it twisted. I'm not saying I love money. I love talking about money, and I love teaching women how to grow their money. I love teaching women how to make those money babies. Someone left a comment the other day and said money babies is the only thing they want to procreate right now. Oh no, they said money babies is the only thing they want to birth right now. Because we ain't trying to have any more children. We too old for that. We too old for that. But we want to make money babies though. How much would you say a person needs to start investing? You can start investing with $5. You can start investing with $5. There is no limit on how much you need to start investing, whatever you have. I would say if you have high interest credit card debt, your priority should be to pay off that debt first. And the reason why I say that is because credit card debt has an interest rate on average like 18%, sometimes way above 20%. The average you're earning in the stock market is 10%. So if you are trying to invest to earn 10% when you are accumulating high interest credit card debt that's costing you 18%, you're losing money. You're hustling backwards. So you are accepting a net loss of 8% or more by choosing not to pay off the credit card debt and instead trying to invest. Now, if you have access to tax advantage accounts like a 401k, because those tax benefits offset a lot of other things, you can contribute to your investments through those tax advantage accounts and pay off debt at the same time. But if we're talking about a traditional brokerage account and you have high interest credit card debt, I want to pay off that credit card debt first. But in terms of limitations, how much you need to start investing, There are no limits. There are no limits. But that high interest credit card debt is the only limit. It's not really a limit. You know, you can do what you want to do, but that's a Malika-ism. I have heartburn when people say, "Oh yeah, I'm investing money, but I have a balance on my credit card." Unless that credit card is like a 0% balance transfer and you're paying that off aggressively and you're doing both at the same time, that's different. I love that for you. But if you are accruing 18, 20% interest on top of that credit card balance and you're not prioritizing that payoff and you're trying to invest or you're trying to trade, it just gives me heartburn. I'm not saying you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, but it just gives me heartburn. But other than that, there are no limits to investing. There are none. If you have $5, you can open up a Fidelity brokerage account. Fidelity allows you to invest using fractional shares, and Fidelity will allow you to buy assets with your $5. If you have $20, $50, it does not matter. You have no limitations, sis. So with whatever amount you have, get started. Get started. Let's see. I understand these CDs are for grandson's future, 12, 13 years old. Okay. Yes. Gotcha. Thank you. Pension, Social Security, so it works out. Okay. Miss Gail got a pension and Social Security. All right now. Let's get it, sis. I love that. A lot of jobs these days don't have that pension anymore. Can you give us a list of, let's see, can you give us, hold on, I'm trying to pin your comment. Can you give us a list of some good investments other than 401k, retirement, or real estate? So what do you mean good investments? So these are just accounts. So a 401k is a type of investment account. Another investment account that's also limited for retirement is an IRA. Aside from your 401k and your IRA, you can also invest in an individual brokerage account. Now, inside those accounts, you have to choose what you want to invest in. Those are simply accounts. They're just like buying a house, like the shell of the house. Once you get in the house, you have to buy things that go inside the house. So the account itself is not an investment, it's just an account. So I'm not sure I understand what you're saying here. So other than 401k, retirement, or real estate, give us a list of some good investments. I'm not sure what you're saying because those are just accounts. Do you mean like what to invest in the brokerage account? I'm not sure what you're saying. Give me some more to work with, Jan, but I'll circle back to your question if you add more to it. Thank you for teaching. Yes, girl. I love this. I could do this all day. I won't hold y'all that long though, but I could do this all day. Jan, you're down to one card. Okay, good. And when you pay off those cards, don't close them. When you pay off those cards, don't close them. You want the balance to be zero. That's great. But you need the history on your credit report to maintain the credit score. If you close the account, the history is eventually going to go away, and it's also going to lower your available credit, which will also lower your utilization percentage. I go into detail of all this in some of my coaching programs, so I know I'm being very high level, but I hope you understand. I hope this makes sense. But a lot of people, when they get in credit card debt, they get stressed out. They think credit cards are evil. They think they're the devil. And as soon as they pay them off, they don't want anything else to do with them. And they cut them out and they close them and they want to be done with them. I get it. I get the frustration and the stress that credit card debt can cause. If you want to cut them up, cut them up. Do it. Whatever makes you feel good. Cut them up. But don't close the accounts. Leave them open with a zero balance. Yes, it's never too late. Start investing. It adds up. Yes, it adds up because you make those money babies. As you make those money babies, you are dropping real knowledge. Yes, yes. We are all about learning together around here. We are all about learning together around here. Ain't no fluff. But I hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Let's see. What do you think about those investing apps like Stash and Acorn? Um, I am not a fan of them, but I don't think they're bad per se. I think they serve a purpose for their target audience. And what I mean by that is so many people are not investing at all. And these are the factors that I'm sharing with you guys tonight. There are so many of us, Black women, who are not investing. So these apps make investing more easily accessible. They make investing appear to be more attractive. They make investing a little easier to understand. So if I had to choose between an app or a real brokerage account, I'm going for a real brokerage account all day. But if these apps make investing accessible to people who otherwise would not invest at all, I think they're okay. Not my preference. I wouldn't recommend them, but I think they're okay if it makes investing accessible to specific a specific demographic of people. Um, my personal opinion, why I don't use them, I feel like the apps gamify investing. The apps encourage people to look at investing as trading. Investing for wealth building is a long term game. It's like running a marathon, a full marathon that's 26.2 miles, not a little 5K that's only 3.1 miles. So it gamifies investing and makes it encourages people to trade. I don't like that. I think it limits your growth. So if it's a great introduction to people who otherwise wouldn't be investing. But at some point along your financial journey, you should want to learn more so you can grow and evolve as an investor. And if you are only using these apps, they don't have education features. Like, for example, with Fidelity, with Vanguard, with Charles Schwab, there's an education feature built in to those brokerage accounts to teach you more about investing. A lot of them have free courses to teach you about investing. They have like an education center to teach you terms and to show you like the current news that's related to your particular investment that's showing up in your account. These apps are very limited in the resources and details like that. So I don't think they give you the opportunity to grow and evolve as an investor. It leaves you right there in the beginner stage. Another reason why I don't prefer the apps, I know Cash App allows you to invest now, which I think is absolutely hilarious, but I don't know about the security of these apps. Now, if I were only investing $20 here, $20 there, not a big deal. But if you were trying to build true wealth, and let's say you had $100,000 in your brokerage account, do you want that in an app? Or do you want that in a real brokerage account that has over 30 years of stability and history and security? You know what I mean? So some pros and cons to them, not all bad, so I'm not going to bash them. I think they serve their purpose, but I don't prefer them. I don't use them, and I don't recommend my clients to use them either. But in the Invest with Ease program, I do share the brokerage accounts that I do recommend. And based on the individual's goals and the purpose of the account, I will show how different brokerage accounts can fill that need or serve that purpose. So yeah, I ain't hating on the apps, but they're not for me. they not for me. Is there really a difference between an ETF and an index fund? Yes, yes, there is a difference. I'm actually going to do a video on this. So willing to fail, do I have permission? I'm going to ask you for permission. Can I delay answering this question and do a full video on this? But yes, there are some very distinct differences between an ETF and a mutual fund. And that's why I want to do a video, because I see a lot of conversations about ETF versus index fund. It's ETF versus mutual fund. An index fund is simply a basket of stocks that track the index. You can buy that as an ETF and you can buy that as a mutual fund. So the comparison is ETF versus mutual fund, not ETF versus index fund. But I'm going to do a video and I'll go over that in more detail in the video. So I hope I have permission to not answer your question, but I'll do a video on it. And when I do, I'll let you know. Let's see. It seems like Maya, hey Maya, it seems like paying off credit cards first is better than investing first, even if you include investing's compound interest. Is that correct? If you have access to a tax advantage account through your employer, where you also get a match, I say do both. And the reason why I say do both is the benefits you'll get from the tax advantages is going to lower your tax liability. The benefits you'll get from the match, where it's an automatic 100% return. So if your employer matches up to 5%, you put in $1,000, they give you $1,000. That's an immediate 100% return, in addition to the tax advantages. If you have credit card debt and you're paying 18% interest, I don't want you to forego that 100% benefit. If you can, I know it's not always possible, but if you can, do both. Now, if you do not have access to a 401k, if you do not have access to a company match, if you do not have access to a tax advantage account, and we're solely comparing a taxable brokerage account to paying off credit card debt, if that is the case, if that is the basis of your question, in that scenario, yes, it's better to pay off the credit card debt first. And I say that because, and the why is the most important. And this is something that I think is so incredibly important when you're learning from anyone. I wouldn't say taking financial advice because I don't give financial advice. I educate you. When you're learning from anyone about personal finance, the why is more important than the answer. And in my coaching program, whether you're in the Sister Circle, whether you're in Invest with Ease, whether we do private coaching, it's important for me that you understand the why, because there are no black and white answers when it comes to money. There is no one way of doing things when it comes to money. Everything, it depends. So make sure you understand the why. And the reason why I'm limiting the comparison to a traditional brokerage account versus paying off credit card debt is because of the return. If your credit card debt has an interest rate of 18% or more, which is about average for credit cards, right? And the average return in a taxable brokerage account with no other benefits in the stock market, if you're investing long term, is 10%. So you're going to earn 10% over here and you're going to lose 18% over here. So in that case, with those very specific criteria, yes, it is better to pay off your credit card debt first, because the net difference between the two will be a loss of the difference between your credit card interest rate and the average 10% return, right? But if you have access to those other accounts with other benefits, those extra benefits on top of that could still be more beneficial than the credit card interest rate. That makes sense? I hope so. So it's not a black or white answer. Not a black or white answer, not that simple. But if you have access to a tax advantage account, do both if you can. Sorry, I'm trying to come up with ways to make money outside of my 9 to 5, rental property, starting a business, things like that. Okay, so you circle back to give me more detail. I'm trying to come up with ways to make money outside of my 9 to 5, rental property, starting a business, things like that. One of the ways I made money outside of my 9 to 5, y'all, I don't like to work. So I have never been one to do a side hustle. I have never been one to subscribe to the hustle and grind culture. So I can't tell you nothing about that. One of the ways I made money outside of my 9 to 5 is investing in the stock market. I put my money to work so that my money created money babies. I gave my employer 40 hours a week. I ain't have another 40 hours for anybody else. I ain't have another 10 hours for anybody else. Sis was tired. And I was a single mom too, sole provider for my daughter. So I didn't have the mental space, the energy to do anything else. But I invested in the stock market. Caveat, I do own rental properties as well. But my primary source first was investing in the stock market to build up those assets first. So for you, Jan, I would say it depends on your interests, your skill set, the time you have available. Do you have a skill where you can solve a problem for other people? That would be a reason to start a business. If you can solve a problem that other people have, and a problem that they are looking to solve, and you can find the people that need what you have for sale, then starting a business is the way to go. If you have extra money and you would like to learn how to invest in the stock market so your money can make money babies passively without you doing any extra work, aside from you educating yourself, of course, because educating yourself does take time and effort. My group coaching program is 8 weeks. We will meet every week for 8 weeks. Each session may last an hour or two, depending on how good the conversation is, how many questions the cohort have. We may go over 2 hours. Sometimes in the sister circle, we up there for 2.5 hours. Like I said, I can talk about this all day and all night. I don't watch the clock. But there is a time investment to educating yourself. But aside from that, there is no other effort to investing in the stock market. So it really depends on you, how much time and effort you're willing to put into it. It takes time and effort to build a business. Buying rental property is not a passive source of income. A lot of people think owning rental property is passive. It's not. It's not. Well, it can be, but it's not initially. There's a lot of work you have to put into it. So it depends on how much time and effort you're willing to put into these sources of income. It depends on how much money you have available to put into them. So this is another question. I know I'm not being very direct in my answer, but there is no black or white one way of doing things. For you, if you want to talk more about them, go to my website and you can schedule a call with me. Schedule a call with me so we can talk one-on-one and we can get into more of the nuts and bolts of what your situation is. But in my opinion, I'll admit I'm biased. I think the easiest, with the lowest barrier to entry, the most passive way of creating another source of income is through investing. But I'm biased. But that's what I think. That's my opinion. But yes, there are a lot of different ways to create income. I just prefer the easiest one that has the lowest barrier to entry and that requires the least amount of my time. Because I ain't trying to work, and I didn't leave my 9 to 5 to create another 9 to 5 for myself. Let's see. I tried Stash and didn't like it. I earn more with my Fidelity account. Even my SoFi investment account earns more than my Stash account. When you say earns more, what do you mean by that? If you're buying the same equity in all the different accounts? What do you mean when you say you earn more in your Fidelity account? Gail says she didn't close a credit card account. She used them to the advantage, earn points for cash and rewards. Just make sure the balance is paid off monthly. Yep, don't close those accounts, ladies. What is what is your opinion on Bitcoin and crypto besides being volatile? Have you ever heard me mention anything about Bitcoin on my channel? That alone should tell you exactly what I think of it. So all the people that was praising the Bitcoin and the crypto and the Ethereum, where they at? Where they at? I'll tell you, long-term investors like me, we loud and proud all the time, all year long, whether the market is up or whether the market is down. Because the market has been around for hundreds of years and it isn't going anywhere. And it's tied to a legitimate source that creates income. It has a purpose. There is a need. The CEO reports to me as an investor every quarter to tell me how she or he is making me money. So regardless of what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the world, I'm loud and proud about my choice of investments. The people that were pushing Bitcoin and crypto and NFTs and now AI, all the trendy stuff, where they at? What they talking about? My opinion of it, I don't have one. I don't have one. Willing to fail, so she learned something already. Oh, and that reminds me. I think back to your question about other sources of income. I haven't watched the whole video, so don't quote me on what I'm about to say. But because of who she is, I know it was a good video. But Stephanie Perry recently did a video on creating, I think the title of it is Creating Streams of Income or Creating Rivers of Income. She just recently did it. So go to Stephanie Perry's channel after this live, of course. Don't leave me to go watch it. But go to Stephanie Perry's channel and watch her most recent video on creating streams of income. I haven't seen it yet, but I just saw the thumbnail and the title. So that video may be helpful to you on ideas that you can implement to create sources of income for yourself. So you're welcome. You're very welcome. Your credit card versus investing answer makes sense. Cool beans. Awesome. Glad that was helpful. Okay. All right. How about becoming a money loaner? What do you mean by that? Becoming a money loaner. I know a lot of people have done like the personal, the person-to-person lending programs. That is a way of creating income for yourself. That is another source. I have never done it before, but I know when it was new, like back in the early 2000s, it was a trendy thing. I've never done it before, but I believe you can like fund different people's businesses. They describe what they need the money for. I think the third party app will give you like their credit rating or their history, their ability to pay the loan back. And you can decide whose request you want to fund, and they charge like an interest rate based on the person's repayment ability. I can't think of any sources right off the dome, but that is the thing, loaning money to other people. It isn't something that I do. Eventually, at some point, I would like to become an angel investor. An angel investor is usually someone that provides seed money to business owners, like when they are in the beginning stages of creating a business. and they're presenting their ideas to you, and they need investors to create a pool of money so they can fund their ideas to get them off the ground. I would like to do that eventually, and there are opportunities for that, but I want to wait until I can get to the point where I can contribute at least a couple of 100,000 or $1 million to invest, so that it's enough where it's worth the risk and enough where the return back to me is worth the investment. Um, but I have not made money through loaning money to others yet. But eventually, after I hit this next target that I want to achieve, I've considered becoming an angel investors in new startups. Yeah. So I was asking only for helping people from losing their dreams. Yeah, I wish I could remember the program off the top of my head, but it was like a people to people lending program. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And it was a way of helping people to fund their dreams. Yeah, I've never done it, but I think there are some legitimate sources out there that can help you do it. And some people do it as a way of creating another source of income. But I can't vouch for it because I've never done it myself. Not opposed to it at all. I would like to do it eventually. Yeah. But the last thing I wanted to share about a negative impact of not investing is that it will take you longer to achieve your goals. It will take you longer to achieve your goals. So when you invest, you can reach your goals faster. So if you have a goal of buying a home, if you have a goal of paying for your children's college expenses because you don't want them to finish school with student loan debt the way you did, or if you want to plan for comfortable retirement, if you're not investing, it will take you longer to do those things. It will take you so much longer to do those things. So I view, just to give you an example of how I view, so saving to me is like taking the scenic route to your goal. It's like the long route. You know, you put in a destination in your GPS, and then you get there and you be like, why did GPS take me all around the world and back again? I could have just kept straight. To me, that's what saving or not investing does for your goal. It takes longer to get there because you're taking the longer route. And investing is not necessarily taking a shortcut, but it's like catching a ride. It's like getting on the bullet train and getting there faster instead of walking. It's like getting there faster and taking the direct route instead of the scenic route, right? So I'll give you an example. I ran some numbers before I hopped on live. So if you invest $500 a month for retirement, for example, and I use the compound interest calculator that I use is on investor.gov. Investor.gov has a compound interest calculator that I love to use. But if you invest $500 a month for retirement, you'll have six figures in 10 years. But if you only save $500 a month for retirement, it will take you 16 years to get six figures. So not investing, you're taking the long route to achieve your goals. It'll take you longer to achieve your goals. And furthermore, if you don't invest, let's say you want to buy a house in a year, or your children are under 10 years old and you want to pay for their college expenses. So that's coming up in 8 years or more. Or you want to retire in 10 years. If you don't invest for those things, when that time comes, you're not going to have enough. You're not going to have enough money. You're not going to have enough money to take care of it. So thinking about retirement, for example, since some of the questions tonight were about retirement, if your money isn't growing at least 10% a year, which is the average return in the stock market, in my opinion, and it's going to sound a little harsh, and I'm okay with that if you're offended. If you are not investing to grow your money, it's like you're planning to be poor. You are intentionally planning to be poor in the future. Unless you're planning to work when you're 70, unless you're planning to work when you get into your 80s and beyond, when you stop working, what are you going to live on if you don't have enough? I know Social Security is a thing, but is Social Security enough? I've had several coaching calls with people who are at retirement age and who are drawing Social Security. It's not enough. Social Security alone is not enough for you to live on. It's less than your paycheck. So if your current paycheck is not meeting all your needs, how is Social Security going to meet all your needs? So if you are not investing for your retirement and you are planning to solely rely on Social Security, you already know it's not enough. So if you choose inaction, if you choose to not invest, you're planning to be poor. You're planning to be poor because you're not going to have enough. So what's your plan? If you know Social Security is not enough, work into your 60s and 70s and 80s? Are you planning to rely on your children to bridge the gap? And while that is not necessarily a problem, as long as your children are okay with it, but that's my question. Are your children aware that they're going to have to bridge the financial gap for you? Are your children who have their own financial responsibilities, are they financially prepared to subsidize your life? Or will it cause them a financial burden because you chose not to invest? If you're not investing, you're making a conscious decision to not invest. So we already have shown the data, discussed the data on how we're losing $25,000 a year due to inaction. But now this is just another compounded effect. If you are not investing for your retirement, you're planning to be poor. What is your plan to fill the gap between what you'll get from Social Security and what you need to live? I know some people plan to move abroad. I think that's wonderful. They plan to move abroad to another country that has a lower cost of living. I love that for you. I would probably do the same thing. Right now, I'm not settled in any one country. I'm just exploring right now to see where I want to be one day. So if that's your plan, then okay, I just want you to think about what your plan is. Working well into your 80s, relying on your children to bridge the gap, moving abroad to a lower cost of living area, all of those are options. But start thinking about your plan into retirement. And if you're choosing not to invest, think about the impact that is going to have on your retirement. You don't want to be a burden to your children. You don't want to kick the can down the road and put your financial needs into your children's basket. You don't want to be a burden to them because they're going to have their own financial responsibilities. They may have their own children and their own spouse and their own home and mortgage and all that kind of stuff to pay. Don't be a burden to your children. That's one of the reasons why I invested as aggressively as I did. I only have one child. I don't want to be a financial burden to her when I'm older. I want to be able to retire comfortably wherever I choose to retire. If I choose to retire abroad or go back to the United States, I want to have that option to know I can live wherever I want to live comfortably. And if she put me in a retirement home, I want to be in the best retirement home my money can buy. If she chooses not to let me live with her, because I'm gonna tell you right now, my old girl that was just on earlier today, she already know we can't live together. I told her I might build a house with the mother suite in the backyard, or I will put her in the best retirement home money can buy. But she can't live with me. My daughter may say the same thing. But whatever the circumstances are, I want to be in the best position possible to make the choice to live as comfortably as possible as I age. Don't let your inaction make the choice for you. That's all I want you to be aware of. The cost of your inaction, the impact of your inaction. Be aware of how that can affect you now and for the rest of your life. Right? Check the comments here. Thanks for always dropping the knowledge. Oh, you're welcome. I explained this to my mother about Social Security. Some people don't believe it until they see the numbers. Yes. I have had so many one-on-one coaching calls with women who are approaching retirement or in retirement. And the very first thing they say to me is, this is how much my check is. I need more. How do I create more? Right? Now, there are countries with lower cost of living where the Social Security may be enough to live on. So if that's your option, if that's your plan to live abroad, then that may work for you. But not everyone wants to live abroad. Or if you live abroad, some people are over it after a couple of years and they want to go back to the comforts that they're used to the culture that they're used to, and that's okay too. My thing is, you should have the choice. You should have the choice for what you decide to do. Don't be limited in your older years when you have the option to do something now, to make a decision now, to make your latter years more comfortable. Whatever you choose to do, don't let your inaction be a reason why your retirement years will be uncomfortable. All right. Continue to speak the truth. Valerie, I'm going to remember your name now. I promise you, I'm going to remember your name now. Yeah, such an eye opener. Thanks for making it plain. Yes. Oh, yes. Let's not be a burden to our children. Let's not be a burden to our children. I know we do so much for them. We make so many sacrifices. We want, them to have a better life than we did. But we also have to fill our own cups first, because if we don't, if we're doing everything for everyone else, when we get to the point where when our cup has run dry, who are we relying on? And if you're relying on your children that don't have the financial means to do everything that they want to do, because we talked about inflation, the cost of everything is going up, you will become a financial burden to them. So that hasn't helped them in any way. If you haven't done anything for yourself to only become a financial burden to your children later, that's not helping them. That's not putting your children first. You're a burden to them. They'll never tell you that you're a burden, but you are if it's creating a financial hardship for them to have to take care of themselves, their family, their children, and take care of you too. That's a burden. They ain't going to say it, but I'm going to say it for them. Don't be a burden to your children. Plan for your own finances. Plan for your own retirement. Your inaction is costing you $25,000 a year. Don't be a burden to your children and cost them money too. Let's see, Jan. You can go online and see how much you have in Social Security at this time. Yes, I don't think you get exactly that amount or how it's given, but the numbers are there. Yeah. And your new Social Security statement comes out every year, 3 months before your birthday. It comes out every year, 3 months before your birthday. So yes. Good point. I think I went through all of the questions. I'm going to check my notes to make sure I went through all of the points that talk about the impact and the cost of our inaction. Yeah, we talked about inflation. We talked about missed opportunities to create money babies. And we talked about it taking longer for us to achieve our goals. Yes. Yeah, we talked about all 3 of those things. Yes. Are there any other questions you have for me? If you're interested in enrolling in Invest with Ease, enrollment is open until Sunday, October 1st, because we kick off the cohort on October 3rd. We will meet every Tuesday night for 8 weeks at 7 p.m. We have a private Facebook group for us to have discussions in between our coaching sessions. And in Invest with Ease, not only will I teach you how to invest correctly, I will teach you how to manage risk and create an investment action plan so you can put together a realistic goal and a timeline to achieve whatever financial goals you define so you can live whatever you love. And as I mentioned, some bonuses that have been added is the Slay Your Debt Masterclass, the ebook on the 7 steps to fabulous financials that I followed, the exact things that I did to achieve financial independence, and also a personal review of your investment action plan and a private one-on-one coaching session to go over your investment action plan. So those are 3 bonuses I've added for those who sign up by Sunday, October 1st, and we're going to kick off on October 3rd. And those who have already signed up, hey girl, hey, you will be receiving an email soon. And those who are already in the group that have already signed up, I cannot wait to work with you. We're going to have so much fun in these next 8 weeks. Let's see. Last comment here I'm going to share. I adore you. Aw, thank you, Jan. And I will be calling you. Awesome. Continue to show us how it looks to be fabulous and free. Thank you. I bought this little dress from a little vendor on the streets in Bali. It costs, look, Black women love to talk about how much something costs when they didn't pay a lot of money, right? But thank you. I think it cost me like $3. I love it. I got it in all the colors, pink, orange, yellow. I'm going to stand up so y'all can see it. I like my little dress. I love it. It's like $3. But anyway, that is all I have for you all tonight. As always, continue learning and continue investing if you already are, so you can achieve your financial freedom and live whatever you love. If this was helpful, smash that like button and share this video with other women you know who are not investing and losing $25,000 every year due to the cost of your inaction. But we can fix that. Learn to invest and join us in Invest with Ease. The link below. Alrighty, you ladies have a wonderful night. Bye for now. Mm-hmm.